this is a watch and a brand that you may not have heard of, but I hope to bring some added exposure to them. Titoni is one of the few truly independent watch brands. It was founded in 1919, and they are currently still under the same family of ownership, now in the fourth generation. You just don't see that these days. Now, in 2019, in honor of the brand's 100-year anniversary, they released an in-house movement called the T10 caliber, and that caliber is in the watch in front of the camera today, so more on that in a minute. But I asked the co-CEO of Titoni what the brand's philosophy is, and he said, quote, "As one of the last independent watch manufacturers still in the founder's family, we honor the Swiss watchmaking tradition and are dedicated to the production of affordable Swiss watches in great quality." Close quote. Now, that type of sentiment is something that has become very commonplace in the watch market. I can't tell you how many brands that I've interacted with that say, hey, we bring the quality, we bring the luxury, but we do it at an affordable price or an attainable price. And in some instances, I wonder how true that really is. But in this case, with this Titoni Seascoper 600, I'm happy to say it is 100% true. Now, this watch has a full retail price on the bracelet of $2,150, which I think is a very competitive price segment to operate in. And in this video, I hope to objectively demonstrate how this watch stacks up to some of the leaders in that segment, watches like the Oris Aquis, the Longines Hydro Conquest, the Tag Heuer Aqua Racer, and the Manta Ocean King. Now, this Titoni has excellent finish work. It's really noticeable. I especially like the polished, chamfered inner portions of the lugs. That adds a nice level of light play. There is also a sloped gloss ceramic bezel insert that has dimensional stylized indexing. This watch looks very sharp, especially in natural light. And the bezel action is very distinctive. It's quiet. It feels refined. The dial has a lacquered finish. It is deep black and slightly reflective. I think it is a great base for dimensional applied markers that are done in a mixture of circular and Arabic styles. The brand logo is also applied, and the text found throughout is cleanly printed. So the dial is just highly legible. The lume is very satisfying. There is a good amount of cyan tone BGW9 found in the hands and in the markers. And here will be my first comparison to other brands. Markers, here on this Titoni, they are cleaner, they are better finished, they are taller than what you would find on a Hydro Conquest, which I know a lot of you really enjoy that diver. The lume on this Titoni is comparable to an Aqua Racer, though it's not done in the bitone. It is just as bright, and it does have good longevity. The dial execution most reminds me of a Rolex Submariner or a GMT Master 2, though Titoni does add anti-reflective treatment to their sapphire crystals, while Rolex just does not do that. Now, that's one thing that some watch collectors will definitely take note of. You may love it, or it might be a turnoff to you, but the design, on the whole, with this Titoni is original. But that being said, there are some elements that are definitely Rolex derivative. And to me, this is reminiscent in size of a Sea Dweller 43 minus the red line of text. It even has the helium release valve flush on the 9 position of the case. This watch does have 600 meters of water resistance. There are large Arabic markers that are reminiscent not of a Hydro Conquest, but of an Explorer, very similar in font. And lastly, the bracelet does have an oyster-style link design. But other than those elements, this Titoni has really done some nice original things. And if you look at this on the whole, I would say it is more original than it is derivative. The hands are spade-shaped, the bezel font is uncommon, and I really enjoy the milled clasp. It does have a push-button release system. And then you'll notice this signature, this logo. This is a hidden style micro adjustment. So you push down on the plum blossom logo, and it is that circular part that engages the adjustment system. Now let's talk about this movement. As mentioned earlier, this is an in-house caliber that was developed for the brand's 100-year anniversary. It is significantly larger than a common ETA or Solita-based movement, On average, it is about 4 millimeters wider in diameter, and you will notice that on the date placement, it's right out to the edge of the dial. And on a large sport watch like this, I think that's very satisfying. The movement will have 32 joules, a 4 hertz beat frequency, or 28,800 beats every hour. This will have 3 days or 72 hours of power reserve. It will be adjusted in 5 separate positions and is a COSC certified chronometer. As I look at the spiral brushed finishing on the plates here, it reminds me of the way Blancpain finishes their movements. I find it very sharp, though this caliber is only partially visible behind a domed porthole style sapphire crystal on the Seascoper 600. You can see the center of the skeletonized gold tone rotor and just a hint of some of the other elements of the caliber, the balance, and the gear train. Truth be told, I find this an attractive movement to view, and personally, I would have preferred a full display back to see all parts of this large in-house movement, or at the same time, maybe close it off entirely and do a nice engraving. To me, I want one or the other. I don't want a hybrid of a small porthole and a closed case back, but that's just personal preference. Stepping back and just taking a look at this watch generally, I find this well finished, and I hope that comes across in this video. I find this versatile. There's a nice weight to this watch. I think it's capable. I think it's accurate with a chronometer certified T10 caliber. I enjoy the clasp adjustability. I enjoy the above average bezel action. I enjoy the lume. I like the depth and the detail work here on the dial. And then you add in that chronometer certified movement, and I think this watch just clearly becomes a class leader in terms of value for money, or overused phrases like bang for buck. Now, that being said, I'm not a salesman, but if you are looking at $2,000 priced dive watches, this is definitely one to consider. It's not a common brand here in the United States, and I hope to do just a small part in bringing some added exposure here to this long-running independent Swiss brand, because this Seascoper 600, I think, is objectively better than a lot on the market at that price segment of about $2,000. So please reach out with any questions. Let me know if I missed anything. There will be links in the description of this video. And I would appreciate if you would like this video if you found it enjoyable or helpful. And please subscribe to my channel for more varied horological content. Thank you.